We don't really, with smaller countries, we don't really get a chance to like interact with all the countries because sometimes people are nervous with their English or they want to speak. But Eddie here, Eddie Craciun, did I pronounce that?
Yeah, pretty good. Craciun.
Craciun, because I asked Valley when I was commentating the races in Eagles, I saw your name on the sheet and I was like, how do I pronounce this? So Eduardo Eddie Craciun, thank you for joining us. So he just raced in the men's race. He finished, we're looking at the times, 19th. How were your runs? He was just explaining you were a little frustrated, but tell everyone what you felt about your runs.
So first run, it was pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it. It was a good run. Second run was improving myself, so I was happy till one point, the key point on this track, 11-12. I didn't keep my cool and that wasn't too good, but managed to do it right after, so finishing on 19th place, I'm happy with it.
I think that going from the top of the track here, men's, would be so scary. So I just admire everyone that's going off from the top. Does it ever get overwhelming, like, because the speeds are so different and the curves are so different. So do you ever get nervous going from the top of the track?
I think in the beginning you're pretty nervous on almost all the tracks to going from the top, but as long as you're going down and you're putting good runs, you gain this confidence that you need. But to be honest, here especially, it's a pretty big jump from ladies to men's. The struggle starts from the very first beginning into curve 4 Omega. That's a high pressure point, like, yeah.
It's a relentless track. So I always want to know, or people always ask me how luge athletes get into luge, because it's obviously not soccer or football, the most popular sport. So how did you, first, where are you from in Romania?
I'm from Azuga, is a small city next to Bucharest, like 100, actually not next to Bucharest, 100 kilometers away, but small city, yeah.
So how does someone from a small city in Romania get to wear this incredible jacket, Bob and Luge national team? How did you get into sliding?
Well, actually it was because one of my friends and my coach is from my city, and he was going to the training and I was waiting for him. And he said, come on, just come with me, coach won't say anything. And I started.
How old were you?
I was 11 years old.
Oh my, that is just, they start so... What did your parents think?
They didn't know. They really didn't know what luge really means until the point it was too late for them to do something.
So did you like lie to them the first time you went? Like, how did you...
No, I just told them the truth, but they really didn't know what's this sport about, and I didn't know what's with this sport, because first it was summer training and it was only some runnings, only some luge on the wheels, easy stuff. But then 2 years later, when I joined the team in Innsbruck, was the first track, I saw it's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference. In summer training, they'll put like rollerblade wheels on a luge sled so you can drive, but it's not nearly the same as like a profiled curve. So it's good to get comfortable on a sled, but it's completely different also. So the other question I get from people is, how in the world do you get to the Olympics? So like, what is the stepping stone, like with the Romanian team, like what is the road to get from starting the sport to be an Olympian?
It's a pretty long road, even though some think that for smaller nations is easier to get to Olympics. Actually, it's not. So I think the biggest fight is with yourself. You need to be improving yourself, to wish to do good, to keep to the sport. Sometimes because we are coming from a smaller nation, the support is not really there, so we have to find ways to support ourselves and to keep doing it. That's the most difficult part, I think.
How far of a drive is it for your home to here?
1,500 kilometers, I think, something like that. It's a 2 days road. And the closest track was Koenigsee. Now it's Innsbruck, but it's still like 18 hours to drive. And we go by car.
It's so wild. So when these athletes come on the road, each country kind of has a different lifestyle. So the Germans sometimes get to go home. because they're in Germany, and the Italians too. There's some Italians that left yesterday, Austrians as well. The North Americans, you're similar to the North Americans.
Yeah, we don't get the special treatment, you know.
And how much does that affect sliding or racing to not be able to go home?
Oh, it depends, but to be honest, I think it affects. Like I could see a big difference after going home for Christmas. When I was coming back, I was more thirsty, you know, to slide, and I wanted more to slide good. And sometimes a little break is welcomed.
It's I think towards the end of the season it really weighs on athletes, and there's so much. I mean, obviously sliding is about the track and races and sled work, but even just the lifestyle of it can be so exhausting. All the weightlifting, the training, even just like the nutrition, like there's so many parts that go into how these athletes get to the track. So to be able to go home is just a nice gift for a lot of the Europeans. So yeah, how many days on the road? Did you go home? Well, yeah. How many days on the road is this so far? Christmas was the last time you were home?
Yeah, Christmas was last time, so we are here since 13th December last year.
Wow, that is so wild. So will there ever be, do you think, is there like a practice track, like a smaller track in Romania at all?
Well, it is, but it's only for the kids. It's like 3 curves, so it doesn't help us at all.
So what do we need to do to get a track in Romania? Because that would be cool, to take the circuit to Romania.
That would be really cool, yes. But yeah, money, I think. Money takes. If you have money, you can build a track. Then if you have the track, you can train, you can stay more at home. Because also we live pretty early on the circuit. Like in pre-season, we leave our homes at maybe half of October, sometimes even in September, to get some runs and to, you know,
just get ready.
Feeling, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're headed into the relay race. Do you love relay? Have you raced in relay before?
Well, only in juniors, not in the seniors. I'm looking forward to. Who knows? Sooner or later, I'll be joining the team relay. It's a really nice race. I love it. It's a big difference because the pressure is a lot higher on every single one, and on a track like Altenberg, where it's interesting to go down, things can happen, and team relay, it's not so predictable.
That's a really nice and generous thing to say. It's interesting to go down this track because for a lot of athletes it's scary, it's intense, it's fun for some, but interesting. That was a really politically correct way to say that. So one of the main differences with relay is that the men have to come down a start. Do they get to practice?
No, not really. I mean, for this week, for sure not. And it's pretty difficult because if you ask me, I find start from doubles more difficult than start from ladies because of that curve 9.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, you don't have enough training. We usually skip the curve 7 because you want to be good in your race, so you need to be on top, and that's way different than going from the 7.
It's going to be an exciting race. Yeah, the men move down. Curve 9 throws a lot of curveballs. It's a tough, there's just not a lot of speed going into curve 9. So really quick, we're going to show a video, but before I would like to give you the opportunity to say anything in Romanian to all the fans. If anyone's watching in Romania, anything you'd like to say?
Vă mulțumim că sunteți cu noi și țineți-ne pumni în continuare. Salutare acasă.
Very cool. Okay, Eddie, thank you so much. What a pleasure. We'll have you more on. You're headed to Winterberg, right?
Yeah.
And then St. Moritz and back for the rest of the season?
We are not really sure about St. Moritz, but yeah, Winterberg for sure, both of them.
So fun. Well, thank you for joining us. If you come to the track and you see Eddie, come say hi. Obviously, his English is incredible and his Romanian. How's your German?
I can understand if you're using your hands.
If we speak with your hands, and it works. Okay, so we're going to head into the relay, but really quick, we're going to show you a little recap of what's been going on this weekend. We've got some highlights to show you from the doubles and women's